This is Barry Heads with Sharp Counsel. Thanks for tuning in. It's another wonderful day. We are in the final part of our 80/20 leadership series, and we'll call this Sharp Snippet simply Simplify. We'll call it Simplify. And as I said previously, the Italian economist, Mr. Pareto, found in 1896 that about 80% of the land was owned about 20% of the people in one country that he focused on. As he did more research when he was studying at a university or teaching at a university, he found that this was the same throughout the world. And down the generations, we found that usually, on average, 80% of the consequences that we have in life come from 20% of the causes. We typically see this on average. If it's not 80/20, it's 75/25 or 90/10. There's usually a close parallel or close, the average is usually close to 80/20. Okay. That's why we call it the 80/20 principle. So today I want us to take time to think about how we can simplify our lives. That way we're more effective in our life and our leadership, whether we're leading a business or a home or a nonprofit, wherever we are, even a university. We want to simplify to make our life more effective and more efficient. Okay. So today I want to start off with talking about focusing on one thing, since we're talking about simplification. There's a writer by the name of Gary Keller. He's a businessman, and he wrote a book with his partner. And the book is titled Focus on One Thing, or One Thing, excuse me. And it basically talks about how we eliminate things out of our life to be more focused, to have a more simplified life, to make ourselves more efficient and more effective. And one of the things I jotted down in the book, One Thing by Gary Keller, is that in order to have extraordinary success, we need to narrow our focus. I'll say that again. In order to have extraordinary success, we need to narrow our focus. So one of the important themes of the book is to do one thing early in the day, early in the morning, when your willpower is strongest. Throughout the day, we get tired, we get fatigued, our minds get frazzled. But early in the morning, early in the day, we should do one thing that's extremely important and get that off of our to-do list, off of our task list as quickly as we can while our willpower is strongest. So if you're a writer, write 1 or 2 pages from the book you're working on in the morning, or write 3 or 4 pages of your screenplay in the morning. If you want to lose 20 pounds this year, work out early in the morning. If you are looking for an increased spiritual life, read a spiritual book early in the morning, or listen to a spiritual talk on your phone early in the morning. Do that one thing while your willpower is strongest in the morning. He also makes note of the fact that when we focus on one thing, chaos rises around us. I noticed that a bit in my life. So when we are dedicated to one thing and we want to specialize and grow uh, extremely well in one area, we find that chaos starts rising around us. If we don't narrow our focus, we won't have extraordinary success in a particular area. We will not. All of the, let's say, well-known professors, they have narrowed their focus, whether they're narrowed their focus in teaching political science or chemistry or business or the different sciences. They are narrow. They are narrowly focused in their field. They are not scattered all about. So when if we want extraordinary success, we have to narrow our focus. Gary Keller also makes mention of the fact that when we try to do everything well, nothing gets done. Okay. We're in a hurry. We're ineffective. We're not efficient. Now I want to talk about just simplifying our lives. So let's cut out some of those tasks that we don't really need to be effective. Just cut some of those tasks out. I know some of us have a problem saying no, but just cut some of those tasks out. You're exhausting your mind, you're exhausting your body, and you're also exhausting the people around you with all the tasks and with all the running around that you're doing. The last thing I want to say about simplifying our life is to stay in the present moment. I've I've been trying to get a lot better at this, whether when I was in university. When I was in class, focus on class. Um, in my life right now, when I'm working or when I'm writing, focus on working or writing. When I'm out with friends, focus on friends. When I'm playing tennis, focus on tennis. Focus on building my body. Focus on building my mind during my time playing tennis, to stay in the present moment. Because if I'm playing tennis, but my mind is away, thinking about a speech I have to prepare for, or thinking about a book I'm thinking about writing, I am directing my energy away from the task at hand. And it's unproductive. It's an unproductive use of time and an unproductive use of energy. So stay in the present moment and simplify your life. The last thing I want to talk about is saying no to requests. I know a lot of us, or many of us, get requests on our time. It may be babysitting, it may be showing up at a friend, an acquaintance's party, whatever it is. We need to start saying no to some of the requests we get. Most of the meetings, whether you are leading a nonprofit or a small team, most of the meetings you or your team go to offsite are a total waste of time. I'd advise you to cut maybe 50% of those meetings down. Just say no. Focus on, in that time, focus on getting real work done, or focus on creating a new project or a new product. Focus on your team's creativity and cohesiveness. Be efficient, work hard, and simplify, simplify, simplify.